Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Rootless, a game of might, right, and arson. My name is Kalanat. I will be your Woodland Whisperer, aka GM, for the evening. Let's meet our voracious vagabonds.
My name's Emily. I'm playing Red, who is a red squirrel using the Scoundrel playbook. And a fun fact about Red is that her favorite food is peanut butter.
I'm Megan. I've been playing Cal, the deer tinker, and my fun fact is that deer have 310-degree vision, which is incredibly ironic considering I started this game with a heavily obscured vision. Facts.
Oh, it's me. I heard whispering. I'm like, you're next. I'm like, I don't know if it's my turn or not. Hi, my name is Michael, and I am playing Theo, who is a cat, and he's not really from this area. He's from a different kind of place. Fun fact, Theo is actually modeled off of my real cat, whose name is Theo.
Hi, I'm Office Maracas. I am playing Rebecca, who is a rabbit from the Harrier playbook. And my fun fact about Rebecca is that all 7 of her siblings are also named after flowers and plants.
Hello, my name's Regina. I am playing Zombie the Otter using the Raconteur playbook. And fun fact about sea otters, they have the thickest fur of any animal.
Hello, I'm Liam. I play Sabian the Fox, who's currently exiled. Fun fact about foxes that I know, they actually like jam sandwiches.
Okay, last we left off, our voracious vagabonds had recently come out of the ruins, been met with a force of Marquise, along with one large squirrel named Chunk. And after quite an explosive interaction, the party was able to escape, discovering that the town is predominantly infested with Marquise soldiers. We were introduced to Ephraim, a wolf with only one good eye, the other being a frother eye, funky chunky. And you guys were all able to exit and leave to a nearby campfire, where you decided to sleep for the night after meeting one Mr. Guy Ko the Gecko. You all awake in the morning and find that one of your party members is not there. There is a small note sitting where Duncan was sleeping against the tree the night before. What would you all like to do?
Well, Red would like to get up and go check out that note.
Yeah, you pick up the note and unfold it, and it reads, "Friends and Rutabaga, I've left you all some soup. A pressing matter came to my attention in the middle of the night. I didn't want to wake you. I'll be sure to find you again. Soldier on, Red. Still got your back. And Sanvi, you've got to peel the potatoes now. Sorry. Duncan."
I come up, dump an armful of potatoes at her feet.
I'm just gonna stare at them, completely mortified. Duncan? Is Duncan gone for real this time?
Well, it looks like he had something to attend to, but he did leave us soup, so I guess we have breakfast.
Well, that's always a good idea. Should I try and make some tea to go with it?
Sure.
You guys see that as you are all talking here in the morning, the gecko is starting to awake.
Yeah, I saw the big guy go off in the middle of the night. Looked like he went off with a couple of the badgers. I don't know what it was about, but it seemed important. Anyways, you guys wanted me to take you somewhere today?
Yeah, morning, guy. We're thinking of having some breakfast, and then if you could take us to that camp full of Denizens that have been pushed out of their town, that would be brilliant.
Yeah, which one you want to go to? We're kind of separated. There's really 3 main forces. There's the people we call the originals. That's the part that I'm from. That's the original Windgap Refuge people. It's mostly just farmers and, different denizens. Yeah, a nice bunch. We can take you to the Bannermen. Those are more like the brutes and the big guys. Scary folk, but they're pretty nice too, if you know how to drink. And then there's the Silk Handkerchiefs. They're a little bit slyer, and, well, it's a little more hardy, if you know what I mean. Well-dressed kind of folk. But, yeah, I can take you to either one, or either of the 3.
Did you mention someone who studies the stars?
Oh yeah, that's Ursa. I used to work for her, but she's in Windgap still. She hasn't left her tower in 25 years. But I miss the stars.
They'll come back tonight.
Yeah, but I can't see them through the telescope like I used to with Ursa. I miss her. I hope she's okay.
What do we think, guys?
Well, maybe the people that Garth's most familiar with would be an idea.
Well, what is our goal? We want to go see them. We want to go see them because these damn cats, right?
Yeah, we
think-
want to take back Windfall.
I think
Right.
Duncan mentioned that he wanted to go and see if he could recruit some people to help you guys to overthrow Chunk. But I don't know. You're welcome to do whatever you want. I'm happy to go back into the woods and never see you again.
Oh, we wouldn't have that.
Yeah, Duncan already left, and he was my only friend.
We're all your friends.
Really?
Really, really.
Wow, I got 6 friends now. I'm rich.
Did Duncan say, was he going to meet one of these groups? The brutes you mentioned, perhaps?
I don't know. He didn't head off in that direction. It looked like some badgers came and took him somewhere, but he said he'd be back, and he said he was safe. So I let him go.
Okay.
Can you tell me more about these silk handkerchiefs?
Yeah, the silk handkerchiefs. It's a bunch of rogues, a lot of sly folk, lots of gamblers. You gotta watch your wallet when you're with them. But yeah, they're led by Mental Sweetbottom. They're an interesting flamingo kind of guy. But yeah, they're nice people. At the end of the day, they just want your money. There's Neo the Turtle. He's second in command. She doesn't talk much, but she's got a flamboyant energy. Yeah, those are the people I'm closest with.
I was thinking it would make sense to go meet with the brutes, but given the size of the force in Windgap, perhaps it would be better to take a more subtle approach. What do you all think?
You're thinking the farmers are our wind spot, yeah?
I'm wondering if the Silk Handkerchiefs would be a better group to start out with.
You know Chunk and you know the dentistry. So I trust your judgment on the best way to get rid of them.
What is our gecko friend's name?
Guy!
Guy.
Well, you can call me Mr. Cole, whatever you prefer, but now that we're friends, I think Guy makes more sense.
You know what? I like friends.
Me too.
Guy, between the bannermen and the handkerchiefs, who's been engaging with these Marquise more? Who's been gnawing at the chomp?
Well, unfortunately, nobody's really been known at the champ. The bannermen and the silk handkerchiefs really don't like each other much. They kind of fight for power, at least in this low section of the world. And then you got us, the originals, and we don't really fight with nobody. We're kind of friendly to everybody, and we do a lot of trading around here. But I don't think anybody's been fighting with the Marquis. You can take it up with them. They probably know better.
What kind of trade do you do?
Mostly construction equipment. Why? You got an investment?
Well, my family does construction trade. We specialize in scaffolding.
Oh,
Really?
really?
My parents own a business. They build houses.
Really? Do you guys do scaffolding as well, or are you like something else?
No, we use the scaffolding to build the buildings.
Okay, cool.
This is a weird coincidence.
It sounds like a beautiful business relationship is blossoming right before my eyes.
Okay, but which companies are you familiar with then?
I'm familiar with both of them. I mean, I know everybody here, but you know, it's a matter of taking people to you guys. Do you have a preference? I can take you to Bormolo. He probably knows more than I do.
What do we want to do about Windfall? Are we invested in toppling that? Or do we want to get in there and get more information? We don't even have a clear mission right now.
As far as I'm aware, we're just trying to help Red with her wolf problem.
Did you say wolf problem?
Have you seen a wolf with one white eye and one regular eye before?
Yeah, I think I mentioned it last night, but Ephraim, he is not nice. Is he coming after you?
Hopefully not.
Oh, God. Okay. Oh, new friends are hard to have.
Why do you say that, guy?
Ephraim's scary. He runs the dentistry. I've heard that they got two different kinds of serums in there. One that'll make you go crazy and live your worst fears. And the other one will make you wild. Make you into what they call frother.
Ooh.
And what about this? And Rebecca pulls out the blueprints that she was supposed to be handing to the Woodland Alliance that have clearly been eradicated from Windfall, with the mechanical arm drawn on it.
He takes a look at it.
Never seen it in my life. It kind of looked like Chunk's gauntlets a little bit, but you probably want to talk to Dr. Dexter. He's the one that knows most about the science there in Windgap.
And what group is Dr. Dexter from?
I actually don't know. I don't know him too well. I just know that he works there for Chunk.
Oh, Dr. Dexter's over at Windfall.
Yeah, but he's always been nice. He used to be one of the originals. I mean, he grew up there in Windgap.
I think we need to go to the originals, guys.
I like that idea too.
If nothing else, the history of Windgap and who this doctor guy is, that's where we're going to find the answers. And hopefully find out how to get Chunk off our backs.
Okie dokie, I'll take it out. I love the originals, and they love me.
It sounds like a cool band name. I really like this guy.
Guy's pretty chill. He leads you through just a short walk through the woods, and you open up into what looks like an encampment of maybe 40 or 50 pretty plain looking denizens. They appear to have like some mining equipment in one corner of the encampment, as well as like another portion that looks like it's like people are loading things into bags and putting them on carts and taking them one various direction or another. There are a total mix in terms of species of animal here. Anything from, a fox to, a bear to a rabbit to anything. I mean, there's all sorts of different folk here. But everyone seems genuinely happy and pretty, I don't know, not complacent, but just in that this is our new life. And we're kind of okay with it, kind of a vibe. The same vibe that Guy gives you.
Can Cal spot any other deer?
Go ahead, give me a roll with cunning.
Okay.
Can I help with that roll? Because there might be a deer here that I know.
You sure can.
Ooh, that wasn't too bad.
I rolled a 6.
9.
9. So to give the help action, you don't even have to roll. You can just mark exhaustion and give her a +1, which would give her a 10, which is a success.
Yeah, we'll do that then.
Ooh, thank you.
Awesome. Sabian?
Upon seeing a fox, I immediately just look around, see if I spot anyone that I might recognise. Like any fox I spot, I'll maybe just glare at them and see if I can recognise them.
Give me a roll with cunning, and actually I need San V, because we are entering a new area. Now I can't think of the name of the roll. Let me look it up. Adoring fans. So you have to roll with charm, and if you hit here, you might have somebody that recognizes your recording.
Ooh, fun.
Sabian, what'd you get on your cunning?
10.
And Sanvi?
5.
5. Okay, so let's resolve these in order. Rebecca, you are assisting Cal, and as you are panning through the crowd, Rebecca actually points out to you, and you see that there is a deer in the very far right corner that has a hood over their antlers, like for all intent and purposes, like you should not know that this is a deer. Like they are clearly trying to hide their identity in the back corner of the encampment, let's say. Sabian, you do not spot anybody that is from any of the factions that would matter to you. However, you do notice that there are a group of foxes in the middle of the clearing that are kind of huddled over a campfire. They appear to be a bit more raggedy than the rest of the group. Sanvi, you enter the clearing, and upon entering the clearing, an individual runs up to you.
Oh, hello there. How are you? I've seen you play before, I think. You're Swansea from Patchwood. I don't think you are. Ain't that right?
Oh my gosh, yes, it's me. It's me.
That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. You see that whoever this person is, the rest of the people here hate him. Absolutely abhor this individual as he walks up to you. He is clearly if there are 50 people here, the 49th on the run.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I saw you play there one time.
Oh, that's nice. I kind of glance around, notices everyone's reaction, kind of take a step back towards Red and Rudbeckia. I'm with my friends now, so I thank you so much for your support, and I will definitely see you later.
I'm gonna tell everybody you're here. And then he gives you this arm shoulder punch and sprints off into the clearing. He's like, oh, something's here.
I love those Grover.
That's amazing.
Guy just kind of looks at you all and then looks at you, Sanvi, and goes,
You do not want to mess with Artemis. I don't know how you know him, but people don't like him. And you don't want people to know that he knows that you like him.
Why don't people like him, Guy?
It doesn't matter here. Let me introduce you to Bormolo. If y'all are ready.
Yeah.
If Cal spotted the deer before, without any hesitation, she's just gonna run to the deer in case it's someone she recognizes and just tap this deer Mom, Dad, is that you?
Whoever this is turns away from you and ignores you.
Oh. She looks very dejected, just I guess not.
On that note, also when I was spotting the foxes, I would hitch my hood up a bit, make it a bit more tight, and I'll just wander over there and just talk to them.
What do you say? They're just kind of chilling.
Yeah, I just wondering if they. Curious, where do you hail from?
Huh? Who are you?
I kind of look at them and go. I'll just quick watch them to see if they recognise and just walk off. And find
They just look at you very, very strangely and then go back to talking to each other.
So as we're moving through, right, I'm just observing two things. I'm observing the general atmosphere. Are people working? Are they a day of leisure? And the one thing that I'm always, anywhere that I am, keeping an eye out for is recognizable adornments, right? Do I see adornments that I recognize?
Yeah, so for the most part, people here seem to be working predominantly. It doesn't seem like this is a place where people can take a day off, but maybe they can take, an hour or two of respite around the fire or, talking to each other, water cooler talk. But most people here are actively, doing something work related. Give me a roll with cunning to see if you notice any adornments. And then Rebecca, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna pat Cal on the shoulder. I think I might have to reach a little bit. And just come on, we can talk to them later. They're clearly not in the right mood. Let's get you back to Sabian. He looks like he could do with some cheering up. He looks like he's sulking a little bit. And we need Guy to take us to this other guy. He keeps saying the name, but I keep not hearing it properly. I've got no idea what this guy's deal is.
Guy's voice is also pretty hard to enunciate. It's Bormolo is what he's been saying.
She glances down at Rebecca and is just like, it's cool. It wasn't who I thought it was anyway. It just doesn't hurt to check,
Based on
Yeah,
experience,
lead the way. Lead the way.
I think that deer is not someone that you want to associate with.
Yeah, it's a long story. Anyway, let's go. I'll follow you. I'll follow your lead.
Nice.
Thelonious, what did you get on your cunning?
I only rolled a 4, which gives me a 6.
A 6. You do not see anybody with any specific adornments. Red, what are you doing as all this is going on?
I'm taking it all in. I see Cal go over and try to interact with the deer and just kind of observe from a distance. Do I recognize that deer?
I was going to say, give me a roll with cunning as well, and go ahead and take an additional +1 to the roll.
Oh, okay, so that just ends up being an 8.
An 8. Yes, you do recognize them. Do you know who it is?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I do, but I'm just gonna file that information away for later and keep following Guy.
Cool. So Guy has everybody kind of reconvened around Guy? Cal and Rebecca, have you guys come back? Cool. So he leads you into like the center tent that is just beyond the foxes and that little fireplace, closer on to where the deer would have been. And he walks you in. You see a very old and very raggedy looking toad who is sitting at a like some kind of crafting table, and he's got like a little chisel in his hand, and he's very, very slowly chiseling away at this piece of slate. And as you all enter, Guy says,
Hello, Milo. That's a new friend.
and the toad turns to you all.
Oh, hello there. It's a pleasure to meet you all. My name's Bomolo. Any friend of Guy's a friend of me. How are you?
What are you working on?
Oh, there's some new construction equipment. We're trying to build a few different things. We get employed by various different people, mostly the bannermen and the handkerchiefs, but, we do work for ourselves as well. It's not a big place, but it's a good place. Most of us like it. Well enough. Well, what are your names?
I'm Rebecca. This is Cal.
Hi.
Everyone else?
I'm Red.
Hello, I'm Sanbi.
Yeah, I'm Thelonious.
Fabian doesn't say a word. He just stares.
Yeah, that's all right.
Cal just kind of like nudges him with his elbow. Just like, come on. Be polite.
Fabian.
Thank you.
Oh, very nice. Well, if you feel uncomfortable giving your real names, it's not a worry. We're pretty big on anonymity around here. Anybody who grew up in Windgap probably knows that. Hey, you look a little familiar there, little squirrel. You from around?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that's
Spent
good to
some
see you
time
back.
in Windgap myself. So.
Fantastic. Well, what can I do for you?
We just had a whole falling out over at Windgap.
It's not surprising.
Yeah. Honestly, right now we're just kind of recollecting ourselves and trying to get a measure on the on the state of the space.
Yeah.
What is
yeah,
Windgap to you?
Well, for most of us here, it's our home, or what used to be our home. We try to stay close. We know the areas pretty well. But, beyond that, it's like spend there for, I don't know, about a year or so. It's tough to get any resources here, but we used to mine right around the mountains that surround the refuge there. Not sure if you saw them, but there's a couple of mountains where this piece of slate comes from.
We're hoping for some information on a doctor working in Windgap.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Weemsby.
I think that was the guy. Doctor someone.
Yeah, Dexter Weemsby. He's been in there for a while. He's a man of science. Always been a good man, at least as far as I know. But Chuck came in, probably offered him something big, and haven't seen him since.
So you've not spoken to him since the Marquise invaded Windgap.
Nah, but he is an original.
Guys, any thoughts on how we could get in there?
I'll tell you what. if you're looking to get information on Mr. Weemsley, there's one bloke that might know what to do. It's probably a deer you're looking for. Hooded folk. She's nice, but she probably knows Dexter pretty well. Used to run goods for him.
Rebecca
I tried talking to her
sighs.
before, but she didn't really want to chat.
Wait here.
It's not surprising.
Rebecca goes to the entrance of the tent and yells out into the open. She just goes, "Bam, bam! Get your ass in here!"
Give me a roll with cunning.
The shouting just startles Cal. She kind of just like jumps over, just like loud noises, loud noises.
Okay, that is a 9.
A 9, awesome. You can tell that whatever you guys did when you went and talked to her in the first place spooked her enough that she is not here anymore.
The little Okay. Does
What?
anyone know how to reason with a skittish deer?
I don't know. I'm gonna talk to our toad friend. What's her story?
Oh, you mean Bam Bam? She's been in Wingate for a while. Like I said, anybody that lives here is an original. So, yeah, she was here. She's one of the few originals that actually has a bit of a shady profession. Most of us are normal folk that will turn a blind eye. But Bam Bam, she's a bit of a smuggler, bit of a thief, a bit of a couple things. She gambles a lot. Not very good.
I resent the
Sounds like a
implication in
threat.
that sentence.
I didn't say smuggling was bad. Just said it was shady. And it is.
You got
Right.
me there.
Like I said, we don't mind it. Oh, you don't even know if Bormarlo's my real name. And I don't know if your real names are what they are. Don't know what you need, but it's a pretty happy place. And I think we're pretty trustworthy.
At this time, Sabin would like kind of move over to Cal, give her hand a light squeeze to get her attention.
You alright?
Yeah, I have an idea, but I kind of need you for this. And he kind of just gives,
Yes.
and he uses the little code that they've developed to indicate which direction he wants her to move, and then pretty much indicates out of the tent.
Okay. She'll kind of like, go with him. Help him.
Bormolo does not bat an eyelash as you guys walk out.
Rebecca, show this guy those papers.
Okay. Rebecca takes papers out and flattens them. I was supposed to give these to Bam Bam. I think it's what Dr. Dexter's building. They're gauntlets, but they've got some sort of mechanical power through them.
He looks at those. Go ahead, and everybody can give me, except for Sabian and Cal, because you guys just exited. But the 4 of you guys that are still in the room, give me a roll with cunning.
6.
Another 9.
I rolled a 9, which makes it 11.
Sandy,
I
what'd
rolled
you
a
get?
5.
Okay. I will say that Theo and Rebecca, you guys notice that as he looks at these papers, his face changes. It doesn't look like he necessarily knows anything. He just becomes like sad all of a sudden. Never seen him. Nothing like this, except for chunks.
You know what they're using it for, right?
I don't, but if you were delivering this to Bam Bam, it means some bad things for Bam Bam.
I don't know what was going to happen with these blueprints. I was just told to hand them off to Bam Bam, and that was my part of the job done.
Right then, well, best you talk to her about it then. I decide not to deal in all that.
I just pull up a piece of whatever's lying around to sit on and sit right next to him. Look, you seem like a straight guy. We know those cats are violent. We know they're a problem. You know what those papers are and where this is going.
He gets close to you and says,
Listen, those papers were meant for Bam Bam, but they really,
and he like flips the paper back over.
were meant for Chunk. That means that Bam Bam is probably two-timing Chunk, and that means that Bam Bam is probably about to get fucked by Chunk. And Ephraim, and everybody else in the Windgap. So yeah, it's a little bit nerve-wracking. Bam Bam's one of us. She might be a bit shady, but she's nice enough. Doesn't deserve this.
Look, we're not heroes, but we're not mercenaries either. We got our own skin in this game. These cats are a problem. I'm looking for solutions.
His eyes narrow. He looks back at the paper and then back at you. What then? Well, you're going to want to win favor. One of the other groups. You'll have the backing of the originals, I guarantee you that. It's about 40 or 50 of us. We don't know how to fight, but good distractions, and we're all amicable. On the other hand, you can go meet with the Bannerman. I'll tell you, Axel Grimes, he's a bit of an asshole, but he's a good man. We can meet with the Handkerchiefs. It's Mindle Sweetbottom. And they're a bit odd, but they're really just after money. They don't like each other much. You might be able to convince both, but you've probably got a better shot at getting one.
Amongst the three of you, has anybody been dealing with these cats and that squirrel over at Windfall?
Sounds like Bam Bam.
That's it.
Shit that I know of now.
We don't tend to work in groups. If Bam Bam's intercepting stuff for someone, I don't know who that someone is she's working for, but I can guarantee no one else is. We work in chains, not groups. One hand to another, that sort of thing. Everybody does their part of the job, but they've got no idea what the biggest, picture is. Bam Bam herself probably doesn't even know what's going on. She just knows she's supposed to pick up a package.
I think that's probably true. But it's strange she picked up and left. I don't think she was run out. And now she's acting weird, being shady. I don't know. But I'm worried. Listen, I can introduce you to Axel. I can introduce you to Mindle. I can introduce you to whoever you want. You've got the originals. Just let me know what you need.
I just kind of drop my hands on both of his shoulders. Wherever Bam Bam's at and whatever goes down, I'll treat her like she was one of mine.
Appreciate that.
Give us a little time. We got to figure out who we want to go to.
Sure. Take all the time you need.
Before we split, y'all are a productive group here. Heard that you do trade and such like that. What should I know in terms of preparing ourselves for getting dirty?
Well, listen, I'll tell you this. We don't do much in the weapons or nothing like that. It's mostly construction goods.
Huh?
But the way Windgap is structured, you've got the town, right? And it sits here. And then to the north, you've got a big mountain. And then to the west, you've got a big mountain. And they meet right there in the middle. Well, we used to get resources from there, at least before Chunk came in. But I'll tell you what, about 3 months back, we weren't able to go back there no more, even when we were in Windgap. That seems very odd to me. I don't know what it means.
So everybody here, I see a lot of work. Y'all are just working to survive, huh?
These days, we can't use the mountains anymore, so we go where we need to, carry goods far. It's hard work. But Bannermen pay well, handkerchiefs pay well.
Something's not right about that. I walk out.
As you're walking out, he says to you, something's not right about a lot of it. And then turns back and starts chiseling his little piece of slate. What would you guys like to do? And Cal and Sabian, what are you guys doing as you exit the tent?
So Cal would leave the tent with Sabian, then once they're kind of out of earshot, I suppose, just turns to him and just goes, "What's up?"
They mentioned a deer.
Yeah, Bam Bam.
How long ago did you see him?
Like, literally just 2 or 3 minutes ago. I was kind of embarrassing. I ran up to them and was like screaming, "Hey, Mom, Dad!" And then I think I spooked them and they ran away. I got excited. I thought it might have been one of my family.
That's okay. It's understandable. Do you know where exactly you found him?
They were over there, and she'll just gesture to where she'd run up to them before. But she kind of just went around the back of the tents and just kind of ran off.
Let's see. This could be done. It's a lot harder because I don't know them personally and they're not connected to you. But I need to borrow your scent for a second.
My scent? But if we're looking for Bam Bam, that's not really going to help, is it?
More particularly, I need a deer scent.
If we go back in the tent and speak to him, then maybe he might have something of Bam Bam's personal effect, maybe?
I will say, Sabian, go ahead and give me a roll with just straight cunning here.
I'm not sure if it's really a great idea to split off from the rest of the group just yet.
7.
7. You can tell that Bam Bam's scent is going in the east direction. That is all that you can gain from it. You also obviously know that they are not part of Cal's family.
Yeah, it's more a case of can I just track deer? I can obviously if there's a deer nearby, can I track the smell?
You can absolutely track the smell. As you are getting that hint of deer heading to the east, the rest of the party is coming out from their talk with Bormolo and kind of meets up with the rest of you. Red.
I want to be the last one out, and right before, as I'm walking out, I'll lean over to Bormolo and ask him if he knows where Z Monmouth is.
His face gets like very, very strange. His eyes go wide, and then he looks at like the tent flap and looks back at you. You know Z?
Yes.
All right then. Z's in general dentistry. We've been trying to get him out for a while. I'll tell you what. You seem like a trustworthy bunch. You specifically, you tell me you know Z. What's his last name?
Monmouth.
All right. You want to get involved here?
Well, if he's in the general dentistry, I have to help get him out.
Are you part of the Alliance?
I've worked for them in the past.
Right then. Well, I'm not just a denizen. I'm not just an original. I talked to Z a while ago. I know what Dexter was up to. I'm going to help you. I trust you.
Yeah, I don't want those plans to come to fruition.
I don't think Dexter was a bad man. All right. Let's go. I'll take you wherever. You talk with your group, you come get me.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. You guys are all together now. What would you like to discuss?
So are we going after Bam Bam?
I think so. It's going to be hard getting her to listen.
If it helps, Sabian chat to her going that way.
Okay.
At this point, you see Sabin, he's got his eyes shut and you can see his nose twitching, and then you see his hands just almost like moving in directions of where Bam Bam's been moving. And then he opens his eyes and goes, all right, let's go.
This is why I don't like predators.
It's weird, but it's helpful.
Rebecca,
Yeah.
you may have never been in this position. If you were this deer, if you were Bam Bam, right? Put yourself in her shoes.
Bam Bam she's never gonna trust you. She doesn't trust me. We get along. She's good fun when you get to know her. She'd rather trust a frother than me.
Oh,
you can depend on frothers. You know exactly what they're gonna do. She doesn't like people in general.
So if we tried to talk to her like a group.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that would be incredibly overwhelming, wouldn't it?
Have you ever seen a deer try and climb a tree?
No, but
Zombie looks at Cal. Can you do it?
I admit nothing.
Bam Bam would climb a tree quicker than you could say, we come in peace. And it's not a pretty
You
sign.
come in peace. That's pretty fast.
Yeah. So if Foxman says she's that way, we can all go. Does anyone else know anyone here that could talk to her for us?
I've met Bam Bam before.
You've met Bam Bam? When? Why? What were you doing that meant you met Bam Bam?
Well, like I told Bormolo, I used to live in Windgap.
Has Bam Bam worked for you?
No, but I mean, I guess not directly or not any more than anybody else who would have made use of her services.
Okay. That's going to be an interesting reaction. Never actually seen her talk to anybody. She's always met me in, like, secret, dark places with no one else around.
Does Bam Bam like music?
Bam Bam doesn't like people, and people make music, so I'm guessing no.
Right as you say that, Sanvi, you see that same guy running back in the other direction. Sanvi! Yeah! And he just runs right by you guys, and you can continue your conversation.
Who's that guy?
He's a fan of mine, not of the town.
Right. Is this gonna be a regular thing traveling with you?
I sure hope I have a lot more approachable fans in my future.
You can pick your teeth, but you can't pick your fans.
That's truth.
You were like the most invested in there with what was going on. I don't know where Duncan is, but I feel like he'd be better at calming down Bam Bam than me. Do you want to try it?
Sure, I can give it a try.
How is your relationship with her?
Well, she owned the pawn shop in the Windgap Refuge. I didn't go in there all that much, but so I don't know how much she'll remember me, but
I guarantee that 50% of her stock was stolen, not pawned.
yeah, that sounds about right.
She uses her antlers to display necklaces. It's very cool.
Mm-hmm. So, Sabian, which direction did she go off in?
You see Sabian just glance in the direction, steps back for a second, grabs hold of absentmindedly just grabs hold of Cal's hand, the leader, and goes, this way, please, and just starts walking.
I can see where I'm going now. It's okay. I don't have the goggles anymore, remember?
You see him turn around, just stare at you, go, oh, yeah, sorry. Let's go, and just goes this way, and just carries on going. Little bit, looking a bit more redder than he usually is.
Are we all going together?
Yeah, is everyone going?
Yeah.
Cool. Everybody go ahead and give me a roll with finesse. And if you rolled higher than a 7, please give me a roll with cunning.
I rolled a 12 plus 3.
Okay, everybody but Rebecca, give me that rolled a 7 or above. Give me a roll with cunning.
That was my first crit. I'm so happy.
11.
I got 11 both times with my differentiated stuff.
Nice.
10.
So, Cal, Theo, and Sabian, you guys are all stealthy enough to get the drop on Bam Bam. You see her kind of like, not running, but like quickly shuffling through the trees. What did everybody else get? Sanvi, red?
5 on the first roll.
Same.
Okay. As you guys are approaching her, I will say that because you guys rolled a 5 on your finesse roll, Bam Bam hears you all coming. Just the 2 of you. The other 4 of you are hidden kind of off to the right-hand side. But Rudbeckia, you are able to, with your rabbit quickness, you are able to like jolt up. You are in front of her. Like she turns around as she hears Red and Sanvi in the brush, and then turns back, and you're like right there in front of her.
Hello there.
Before we had left, I had wanted to mark depletion to pull something of value out. I was thinking like a one value kind of necklace kind of thing to give to Rebecca as sort of like a tool for commerce.
Oh, I'm totally down. Yeah, go ahead and mark depletion. And Rebecca, you now have like a we'll retcon it and say that this happened prior. And you have like this just a small necklace. It's not particularly valuable, but it is worth something. And you pop up right in front of her.
Does Rebecca know why Thelonious has given this to her?
I don't think so. It's
So
Thelonious.
she's just been given a
let's
necklace.
be real.
I slap it in your paw, like that was enough communication.
Okay.
Theo is not from here. He does not operate like the rest of you do. So I will say no. You probably don't know why you are palming this now worth something but not a lot necklace.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, Rebecca.
Hi.
I
You
saw
ran
you were-
away earlier.
Yeah. What can I do for you?
Well, I had a job, and that got us kind of sidetracked. But we kind of need your help.
Oh,
You know that message I was supposed to bring you?
I'm aware.
Do you know what was in it?
Give me a roll with, I will say, you can use luck or cunning here.
It's still only a 9.
That's still pretty damn good, though. She looks at you. Yeah, I know a thing or two about it.
Yeah. I've made some new friends. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi
Hi.
again. Sorry for being creepy before.
Hi. No, it wasn't you. It was Rebecca.
Oh, okay then.
I'm actually kind of interested. You're another deer. We don't
Yeah.
see many around here anymore.
Have you seen any other ones recently? Like passing through? Just out of curiosity.
Not around here. I'm sorry.
Dang it. No, there's no problem.
But it's a pleasure. And then
Yeah,
likewise.
likewise.
Looks back at you, Rebecca, and her smile drops again.
Look, I'm not the best smuggler in the world yet, but we have a problem. And she rolls out the blueprints and she lets Bam Bam see what's in them, but then quickly rolls them back up and puts them back in her waistcoat.
She looks at them. Yeah, I know what's in them.
Mm-hmm.
My employer would prefer for those to stay in your hands. Or anybody's hands that aren't, well, the people from Windgap.
Good. We're on the same page. Right, so here's the sitch. We may or may not have pissed off the people in Windgap. And
Which ones?
kind of squirrel, several cats.
Okay, so you pissed off the Marquise.
Yeah, also a wolf.
Yeah, he's part of the Marquise too.
Yeah. We need to get in there to talk to this Dr. Dexter guy. And hey, since this is technically hiring you, what about? And she just like pulls out the necklace and just like hangs it on one of the lower little, I presume as like the little antlers, they've got like lower spokes. Just so it's like in her eye line, just like a hop, and it's like
She takes the necklace from one of her lower spokes and puts it around her neck, and then takes one of the necklaces from like the second rung of spokes and puts it around your neck and says, "Okay, I'll help you, but I get to come along."
Does this mean we're friends?
It means I get to talk to Dexter before you do.
Your antlers
But
are so pretty.
does it mean I think that's a yes. I think we're friends now. And Rebecca gives her a hug.
She, as you're hugging her, she says, "You can call it whatever you want," and then pushes away from you.
So, Thelonious, is just visible in the bushes, like the whole group is known, but watching, and I just want to do like an observational investigation check.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a roll with cunning. What are you looking for?
I mean, she's saying things, right? She's saying, "Oh, that piece of paper of violence, my employer's against that," and I'm just trying to read her trustworthiness in general.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a roll of cunning.
Ooh, damn, +2. That's a 12 with +2.
Damn, a 12 with +2. You can tell she is picking her words incredibly carefully. She didn't say, "I didn't want this to go to the Marquise." She said, "I don't want this to go to anybody in Windgap Refuge." She specifically did not say a faction. She said the people in Windgap, meaning that she knows there's more than one faction in Windgap. She also said that she would be willing to help you if she can talk to Dexter Weemsley first. So it would make sense that her employer is probably trying to get to Dr. Dexter Weemsley and whatever this paper is that you have before whoever her employer is against can get to it. So I won't give you the employer name. I don't think you'd be able to glean that, but I will give you that's like all of her intention with everything she said.
Good enough.
No, but you don't trust us? I don't care though. I think this is progress.
And I know that you don't trust me either. And people in our profession don't trust anybody. So.
And I know that patronizing tone is not how you really feel about me, but I will be extra annoying just because.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
I love you too.
And
I was just inspired by like the antlers being used as kind of like extra storage. She's just kind of just there like, I wonder if I can do that with mine.
Maybe someday. I think that'd be cool to work
Scribbling
in.
in a notebook, make antlers shelf storage.
Hell yes, you're a tinker. Do it. Fucking dope. Cool. Anybody else questions for Bam Bam? What is everybody else kind of doing? Theo has kind of vibe checked it. Rebecca has been conversing. Anybody else?
Red will step up to Bam Bam and say, "Hi, Bam Bam.
Hey.
How come you're not at your shop?"
The fawn shop hasn't made a lot of money recently.
But you didn't get run out or anything? Like, are you okay?
Do I know you?
Yeah, I thought that might be the case. I'm Red.
Oh. The Red?
In the flesh. Or fur, I suppose.
Wow. Rose Whiskertail right in front of my very eyes. Unbelievable. Well, it's really a pleasure. She extends her hand out.
I'll shake it.
You know, Red, after all this is done, I'd absolutely love for you to meet my employer. They'd absolutely love to meet you.
Let's just get through this first part, and then we'll see.
Fair enough.
Cal's just nudges Sabian, just like, are we missing something crucial here?
I think they know each other. That's the best I can tell.
Okay.
Rebecca just like goes to Zombie and is like, if you ever wanted to sing about something, I love dramatic backstories.
Tommy gets out her journal and writes down some notes. Okay, I got this.
I have no idea who she is, but she sounds important.
Rose Whiskertail.
What would anybody else like to do? Bam Bam is kind of imploring you all to walk back with her towards the direction where you came, back towards the originals.
On the way back, I'll just pull Thelonious to the side, casual chat while we're walking.
Yeah, I definitely hang back with Sabian. We're with the group, but out of earshot with our low talking voices.
So tell me, you're not from here, so how comes you're here?
Man, just trying to refine myself. My whole world got lost.
I'm sorry to hear that. So where have you been around in this area?
Not much. I'm kind of fresh, actually. Still building the map.
Cool.
That thing there in Windfall, that was my first real encounter, all in all. Meeting, some Denzites and finding some ruins, just wandering on the random.
Yeah.
But nice.
Yeah, your first battle, you don't really forget about it.
Oh. Was that my first real battle? It's hard to tell.
Well, it's not the first real battle we've had together, though.
Well, yes. You were, You were familiar to me. Not... Just something about you, that's all. I want you to know that I like it.
Kind of hearing the phrase "you seem familiar," you kind of see him just lose his step in for a second, and just look at you go. How so?
There's something clean about you. I don't know how to say it better. It's better than honest. It's just something clean about the way you go. I've known people like that, and I don't see a lot of it. I'm glad to be here with you now.
Glad to be here too. I'm just glad that I've met you while I had a conscience.
We're all messy. It's okay. What do you make of all this?
Not what I'm used to. This is not how I used to engage. I never had to be up front.
Yeah. Upfront's tricky. Nobody tells the truth, right?
No one explains how frontline works. They always used to make it so glorious.
We're about to get into it. I'm trusting you. In fact, after that downfall, I'm kind of down with this whole group. I'm still juggling the marbles on this new deer, though. What do you make of her?
There's something not right with her. There's something I don't trust.
I don't know. I can't tell either way at the moment. She's sharp on the line, ain't she? You see what she said?
To be honest, I was too busy looking out, but I got the idea that something's not right.
Well, nothing's right around here, but that's not her. That's the whole thing, isn't it? Nothing's right. One thing that's obvious, she's just like everybody else, doing what she can and doing what she has to. Nothing that's clear. She does it well. But I can't peek into that card. I don't know if she's doing the same thing that we're doing. I just want you to know, keep it careful. She could be solid, but
Pretty much see when the mask slips.
yeah.
And as you guys are having this conversation, you are beginning to get back towards where everyone else was. Go ahead, Rebecca.
I'm gonna call back and be like, "Are you two men done brooding?"
Yeah, Sabin just stares up at her, kind of still unsure, goes, "All right, we're coming."
Like a cartwheel somersault and says like, "Rude who?" and kind of like floppily like falls onto her shoulders and then rolls again.
Men have to make everything dramatic.
As Thelonious is rolling into the the beginning of the encampment, You guys all see that Bormolo and Guy are standing like on the edge of the encampment, sort of waiting for you to arrive. And Bormolo addresses you.
Well, have you made the decision? So you found Bam Bam?
He looks at her. She looks at him. They both look sad. They look down. They look back at each other. And then Bormolo looks back to you.
Well,
Bam Bam.
Yeah.
The moment we're all on the same agenda, right? Your friend here was going to introduce us to one of the other sections of this faction, right? We're not sure which direction to go. If you were to try to get in and talk to this doctor, with or without us, but we're here, so it's with us, would you want banners or would you want handkerchiefs?
I think that choice is pretty evident for me. The handkerchiefs have given me more than enough business and operate along the same guidelines as folks like myself and Rebecca, as if you don't already know, I'm sure you will come to understand. However, the Bannermen would provide what we don't have, which would be the offensive. So perhaps a harder sell, but maybe more of what we need. None of you look particularly strong.
We are down Duncan, but Bam Bam, I'm surprised at you. You're slipping. No smuggler worth their salt would ever make an alliance to get in somewhere if it would be a heck of a lot easier to slip in by themselves.
Why do you think I'm pairing with you? If I could have gotten in already, I would have. But I can't. But you can.
Pays to be a rabbit.
You know
Pays to
what?
be a rabbit.
That's a funny point, Bam Bam. Why are you pairing with us?
Honey!
Smuggler's code. Now, you might know Rebecca's a smuggler, and you might know that I have, well, perhaps a jaded past, but I don't know your reasonings for getting in, and you don't need to know mine. All you need to know is I will help you garner favor with either of the groups, and are you quite done?
I'm just, making everybody aware of your lack of skills.
So childish. Well, as the adults were saying, yes, I could garner you favor with either of the groups. I think that my particular affiliations would be better with the handkerchiefs, but given your group's failings, I think the Bannermen might provide a service well needed. That said, I don't need to know why you want the Bannermen or the handkerchiefs. As long as you're going to Windgap, and so am I don't care. I want to talk to the doctor, and you want whatever you want. So let's leave it at that.
That's true and fair. I don't need to know your personal stuff.
You don't need to know anything.
Oh, if I'm going to go into that camp, then I do.
No, because here's the thing. I think that you and your little party here, you were going to go into one of those groups regardless of if you had me or not.
That's
I
right.
think you've got a better shot with me, but now I know you're going into Windgap. And so, wow, if I just waited nearby and, gosh, I think I could probably spot 40 or 50 Bannermen, and, well, I know the handkerchiefs pretty well, so if you took any of the underground tunnels that they know of, well, I could be there, lickety-split, and capitalize on your gains. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt here. Darling, take a page out of Rebecca's book and be silent. Silent partners are the best partners.
No, I do understand that.
My mother taught me if I have nothing nice to say, not to say anything at all. And around you, there's never anything nice to say.
I couldn't agree more.
I think I might be misunderstood here. Bam Bam, I do appreciate your ability to gain us some garner here. I think that you individually, and certainly us, but honestly, everyone around us, everyone has something to gain. I also know that these banners and these handkerchiefs, they don't get along. Here's what I'm looking for. The enemy of my enemy is my ally. I get that you're kind of okay in both ways, and you could kind of bring us in both ways. But could we talk about bringing everyone together? Not at a dinner table, but as a tip of the hat.
Give me a roll with cunning.
With the improvement, that's going to be a 6.
6. She looks at you. I don't think you have a leg to stand on. Well, I don't know what you're playing at. I don't care what you're playing at. You give me one of the groups, we go to that group. Or you guys can go it on your own, have Bormolo and Guy talk for you, and see how that works out. I'll be waiting
I
in
want to
waiting.
choose
Guys.
that option.
that is not on the table.
Oh, wow, and you're even divided as a party. How beautiful. Gosh, I love the allies I've chosen. Pick a side, all of you, and we'll go. Otherwise, I'm leaving.
Let's start with the silk handkerchiefs, and then maybe we can get the bannermen on our side as well.
Fine. Good enough for me. Are you guys all ready to head to the handkerchiefs, or is that a decision you would like to discuss?
I'd like to discuss it.
Okay.
Good.
I'll be honest, this feels like something we shouldn't decide without Duncan. And I'd much sooner, jump into a pool of lava than trust Bam Bam. Her name is Bam Bam for a reason. She's also so stuck up. Working with her is ridiculously hard. And I don't like the sound of the handkerchiefs. It's just more double crossing and trickery and long conversations that go around in circles. It feels iffy.
We are in side conversation right now.
Yeah, I will say that Bam Bam and Bormolo are sort of speaking together at the moment. Guy is doing what Guy does best and just being distracted by everything.
Quick thing. Whereabouts are we standing?
You guys are just on the outskirts of like the encampment. And so Bormolo and Bam Bam are like off to like closer to where Bormolo's tent is. And you guys are like farther off to, I don't know, the left, whatever side you want to say, but like 10 feet from where they are.
And there's still people around, yeah?
There's still people around. People are working. I mean, people aren't going to stop just because you're there.
Paranoid as Sabian is, and he's going to be looking out. He also wants to look out for any lemurs or rats.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a roll with cunning.
9.
9. You do not see any lemurs or rats in this particular encampment.
You kind of see Sabian kind of like lift up a bit. He kind of feels a bit more safe.
I'm kind of responding to Rebecca, like, I don't know, this is frustrating, right? We have 2 different people willing to intervene us into one of 2 different factions. Everybody, these people took over. Everybody's in pain. Why can't we split? Why can't we take some of our selfies and go with this deer and talk to the handkerchief? And why can't we take some of our bombs and go with this toad and go to the, like, why won't we do this?
At this point, Bormolo and Bam Bam walk back over to you guys, and Bormolo says, "Well then, sounds like Bam Bam said you guys are going to the handkerchiefs. Is that right?
I guess.
I mean, listen, you can go to whichever one you want. I'll tell you this, if you want to get both on your side, you can. But if they see each other out there, they see each other in the wind gap, they're going to turn on each other. They're not going to fight the Marquise."
Like, here's the thing. We don't need to collaborate to cooperate.
I know what you're saying, and I think it's a good plan. But I'm just giving you the what's what. They see each other out there. One of them missteps. One of them decides, maybe this isn't for me, and goes and walks off. Then one of the bannermen sees them. One of the bannermen goes into a house to loot. Happens to be looted already, and maybe there's a calling card in there from, well, one of the handkerchiefs. Who knows? Anything could go awry. I'm just telling you, they see each other there. It's not going to be good. Not for you, not for anybody.
Thelonious just kind of nudges at Sabian, whispers into his ear like just one-on-one. Everybody's gaining off of this problem here.
He kind of just glances at Cal and sees if she's watching.
Probably, admittedly, just like scribbling in her notes that completely ignoring the conversation because she's still trying to figure out the whole antler situation. She's just immersed. That's her new project and her fixation at the moment. She's just like, I'm going to capitalize on this.
You can't. You just and you see him just slightly grin at her and go. To be honest, it's wherever she's going. I can't go without. I can't leave her.
None of us are leaving no one.
It strikes me that the handkerchiefs might be better at getting into a secure facility, and meanwhile, perhaps we could convince the Bannermen to create a distraction and make sure, especially that Ephraim is not going to interrupt other plans. I still think we can manage both if we do it carefully.
And keep in mind that no matter who you go with or have the originals,
He looks at you pointedly, Red.
you've got our support.
Yes, but I wouldn't want to risk. You yourself said that you're less skilled, perhaps, than the Bannermen, and I wouldn't want to endanger ordinary denizens in all of this.
Listen, we might not be just as skilled, but we got just as much a right to Windgap. I think it's only fair we fight, or at least do what we can. Nobody here is going to fret if their life's in danger, if it means we can get back our home.
Let's do this. I'm going with Bam Bam because we need to have a discussion about employers. Where's everyone else headed?
Are you taking her to the side?
Hopefully taking the whole group away with me, but like whatever. Yes, away from that conversation and...
So Bormolo begins to lead you all west. And it seems that he's leading you towards the silk handkerchiefs. But in the background, we see Rebecca and Bam Bam sort of hanging back. Yeah? Did you need something?
We've only met a few times. I think this is the longest conversation you've ever had with me.
Yeah, there's a reason.
Because I work in a different clearing, or because you don't like me?
Because we both have professions that don't involve us conversing, Rebecca.
I get that. But I've got a feeling that this is slowly getting out of control. And I get that we have jobs, we have employers, and we have a code. But I need to know that if there's a knife to my throat, you're not the one holding it.
I can tell you with 100% honesty, I won't be the one holding the knife, provided that you let me speak to the good doctor before you do. That's all. And that's all my employer asks. I'm not going to hurt him. I'm not going to hurt you. I promise. I just want to have a discussion.
Yeah, I know that you wouldn't do anything if someone else were holding the knife, but that's okay, you know, baby steps.
What's your game in all this? How do you benefit?
I don't think I do. I quite literally fell on these guys, and then we got attacked by some cats.
Then why do it?
I don't... You ever feel like there isn't enough for you?
Yeah, actually.
I thought I had enough, but the minute I stepped outside of my clearing, I realized just how meaningless I was. And I don't really have a goal. I don't have a direction. I'm kind of hoping that I find one with these guys.
Well, I'll tell you what. You said not much. You say you want more. If you want more, after we finish up, you take your little squirrel friend and you come meet me, and I'll introduce you to my employer. And I promise there'll be so much more.
Really?
A lot.
I'm gonna hug you again.
She hugs you back this time.
Oh, this is such a good feeling. Okay, let's go with the rest of them.
You guys all rejoin the group. Bormolo leads you a few miles through some dense wooded forests until eventually you come upon another encampment. This encampment appears to be about the same size as the original's encampment had been, but it is a lot brighter. There are tents of all sorts of different colors here. In fact, the fire itself appears to be a number of different colors. It's like a flaming rainbow. I don't know if you guys have ever had those pellets that you throw in the fire and they make it change color, but it's like that. And everybody here appears to be, even if they aren't wearing colorful articles of clothing, they are so well dressed. Everybody here looks like they are straight out of a ball. And Bormolo leads you to a very haughty looking, almost like androgynous flamingo.
Bormolo! Such a pleasure. What then? It's always a pleasure. Listen, Mindle, I wanted to introduce you to the rest of these folks. They got a job for you. Anyways, I'll leave you and Bam Bam, and I'll leave you to it. Come on, guy. Let's go back. I think the others could use us.
Okie dokie. Yeah, see you, friends. I
Bye,
hope
guys.
we meet again.
I'm sure
See
we
you
will, Kai.
soon.
Bye, guy.
Miss you already.
The two of them exit.
Yes, what is it that I can do for you? Well, speak or...
I'm just taking in all the kinds of classy you are. I mean, honestly, I respect the attire.
They completely blush.
Oh, really? Well, I do see you know how to make an entrance and flatter your hosts. I appreciate it. Anyways, is there something I can do for you? You're quite a gorgeous-looking deer.
Oh, stop. Okay, so she kind of just like goes all like bashful, and she's just there like, actually, I kind of want to know if you've got like materials or components anywhere nearby, because I have a few ideas rattling, and I really need to like stock up on some new materials and stuff.
Everybody go ahead and give me a roll with cunning as Cal says this.
I rolled a 5.
Which with cunning is 4.
8.
I have a 12.
Nice.
Anybody else? Theo? 7?
12 down to 11.
Nice. Okay, so Sabian, you see in one of the corners, there are like these, what looks like the beginnings of wooden ballistas. They appear to be like what you would see as a siege tactic weapon that is being built. It doesn't have anything else other than like the actual framework of it completed, as well as a number of different large bolts that are being stockpiled next to it. Who else had the high roll? Was it Theo? Did you
I
have the
had
7?
an 8.
7 and 8. Both of you see that there are a number of different like fletching type items, things that you would use for archery, different types of components in terms of making bows, and different ranged weaponry. Along with that, you see a number of different suits of leather armor. You see a number of different daggers and like kukris and other items that would be better for the stealthy person. Sanvi, you see specifically, I am so glad that you rolled a 12. You see specifically in this clearing, right directly in the middle, there is a gentleman who is playing a recorder. As he is playing this recorder, you see that there are like butterflies coming towards him and landing on his shoulders. There are like worms that are crawling up his legs. There are like little grubs and different types of dragonfly that are kind of swarming around this guy as he's playing. He's got his hood turned and his back turned to you, and you can't see what kind of species he is, but you can hear this beautiful melodic tune as it kind of echoes throughout the clearing. That is where we are going to end our session for the night. Thank you so much for coming out and joining us here in the Woodland. If you enjoyed this kind of content, please give us a review, share this with your friends, like us, follow us, do all the things. Like I mentioned in the last podcast, it really does go a long way with us being new to the format and new to the podcasting world. So anything you can do to support us, we would appreciate it. And if there's anything we can do to support you, reach out to us. We are more than open and communicative on all of our DMs. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time in the Woodland. What do you get when you combine a mutual love of fiction with a whole lot of goofy nonsense? That would be the Nat One podcast. Nat One is a comedy podcast created by 3 friends who play Dungeons and Dragons together. So if you enjoy campaign stories, talk of game mechanics, and general tomfoolery, you've come to the right place. Join the hosts, Pertuzit, Levi, and Jordan, occasionally joined by a colorful cast of guests as they talk about Dungeons and Dragons, pop culture, Garfield, and so much more. New episodes come out every Wednesday at noon Eastern Time, and you can find them on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. If gaming is more your thing, check out Nat1 Plays on Twitch for playthroughs of games like Terraria and Darkest Dungeon. They think they're pretty funny, and hopefully you do too. I know we do here at Rootless.